There's a particular kind of traveler I see all the time in Thailand. They've saved up for months, maybe years. They've dreamed about this trip through every long gray day at work. And then they arrive. And within the first hour, before they've even left the airport, they start making small mistakes that quietly drain their money, waste their precious time, and chip away at the very holiday they worked so hard for. It breaks my heart a little because almost all of it is avoidable. So today, I want to give you 10 simple tips, 10 honest pieces of advice. And if you keep them in the back of your mind and actually apply them while you're in Thailand, I promise you'll save a great deal of time and money. And more importantly, you'll enjoy your vacation in a far richer, deeper way than the tourist rushing past you. So let's get into it. And like every good journey, this one starts at the airport. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Your trip doesn't begin at your hotel. It begins the moment you step off that plane. And right there at the airport, you face your very first important decision: how you're going to get to your condo, your hotel, wherever you're staying. But before we even get to transportation, there are 3 essential things you need to sort out once you've cleared immigration and claimed your bags: which SIM card to buy, where to exchange your money, and which kind of transport to take. Let me simplify all 3 for you so you avoid the classic mistakes. First, the SIM card. As you walk down the path toward the exits, you'll pass a whole row of SIM card companies, all competing for your attention. And here's where people waste their energy. They stand there agonizing over which company is the best. Don't. You're wasting your time. The truth is, most of them offer essentially the same services. The real question isn't which company, it's which package suits you. So here's my simple advice. Buy the package that matches how long you're staying and make sure it includes unlimited internet. That way you can use it freely through your entire vacation without a second thought. Second, exchanging money. You can change some money right there at the airport, but here's the key word: some, not much. The rates at the airport are simply not the best you'll find, and if you change all your cash there, you're leaving money on the table. Change just enough to get you going, because once you're outside the airport, you'll find far better rates at places like the Super Rich Company and others like it. A little patience here puts more baht in your pocket. And third, transportation. This one's beautifully simple, and it comes down to who you're traveling with. If you're a couple or a solo traveler with light luggage, go for the public transportation. Take the airport rail link. It'll get you into downtown Bangkok for just 40 Thai baht. 40 baht. But if you're a family, more than 3 people, with a lot more luggage between you, then take the public taxi instead. That'll cost you somewhere between 200 and 400 Thai baht, and it makes far more sense when you're hauling bags for the whole family. So choose the right transport for your situation, grab the right SIM card, and change only as much money as you need. Get those 3 right, and you've started your trip on exactly the right foot. Now, that leads me straight into my second tip, and it's one I feel strongly about. Don't pack too much. I was at Phuket International Airport just this week, and I watched people arriving in Thailand with 6 or 7 pieces of luggage each. I honestly don't know what they were bringing with them, but let me tell you plainly, you do not need all that. And it ties directly back to what we just talked about with transportation. If you're planning to use the airport rail link, for instance, and you're dragging 6 suitcases behind you, you're going to have a miserable, awkward time of it. It simply won't work well. But beyond the practical hassle, here's the deeper truth. You just don't need that much stuff in Thailand. The weather is warm, life is casual, and anything you've forgotten you can buy here cheaply. So pack wisely, pack light, And remember, you're very likely going to be traveling around inside Thailand too, hopping between destinations. And every one of those journeys is easier with less to carry. Don't forget that. Light bags mean a light, free, flexible trip. My third tip is about something I see trip up tourists constantly, and it costs them dearly. When you need directions, do not ask the tuk-tuks, the taxis, or the motorbike drivers. This is a genuinely big mistake, and it will lead you astray time and time again. Let me be clear about why. Those tuk-tuks, taxis, and motorbike drivers waiting out there in numbers, watching for tourists, trust me, more often than not, they will mislead you. Not out of malice exactly, but because they're delighted to take you on a little tour that wastes your time and, more to the point, your money. You ask for a simple direction, and suddenly you're being driven the long way around, or steered toward a shop where they earn a commission. So here's what you do instead. If someone gives you the hard sell, just smile and walk. If you need directions, use your Google Maps. It's right there in your pocket. Or, if you'd rather ask a person, ask a local. Ordinary Thai people are wonderfully helpful and friendly, and they'll happily point you the right way. Just steer clear of the tuk-tuks and taxis for directions. A smile and a walk will save you a world of trouble. Now, my fourth tip is one of my favorites because it's about pure enjoyment. Don't be afraid to eat the street food. Honestly, if you come all the way to Thailand and stay away from the street food, it's one of the biggest touristic mistakes you can possibly make. I know. Some of you have your reasons. You'll tell me street food isn't for you, that you're worried it's not clean, not fresh. But let me tell you what I actually see. I watch crowds of tourists eating their meals at McDonald's, at KFC, at the fast food chains, in Thailand of all places. And when I ask them why, they say the street food isn't fresh or clean. And I have to laugh because they've got it completely backward. The best food you will find in this entire country is right there on the streets. It's fresh, made daily, clean, bursting with flavor, and on top of all that, it's cheap. So don't be afraid. Take the step. Start eating the local street food, because otherwise you're wasting your money on expensive fast food and filling up on junk you could get back home. You didn't fly across the world for a burger. My fifth tip will save you a small fortune. Do not do your shopping in the touristic areas. And I mean it. No matter how good you think you are at bargaining, no matter how hard you haggle, you will still end up paying far more than the real price in those spots. Let me show you exactly what I mean, because the numbers are shocking. I watch tourists every single day buying things in the most touristic areas, and you might, for example, pay 500 Thai baht for a t-shirt on Sukhumvit Road, when that very same t-shirt costs only 80 baht in the proper markets. 80 baht versus 500. That's how big the gap is. Don't make that mistake. The exact same items are sold in the famous markets, places like Chatuchak or Pratanam. Just hop on the train and go there. They're all easy to reach. You'll save a tremendous amount of money, and as a bonus, you'll find a far wider selection to choose from. Which brings me neatly to my sixth tip. Always bargain. In Thailand, bargaining is completely normal. It's simply part of how things are done, especially in the touristic areas, and especially when items aren't clearly priced. So even when you're not shopping in a tourist trap, always bargain anyway. Don't be shy about it. This is Thailand. Tell them how much you're willing to pay, and most of the time you'll walk away with a discount and sometimes a bit more thrown in. Don't just hand over the money and walk off. Use those bargaining skills. But, and this matters, always be polite about it and don't push too hard. Keep it friendly. Push the limits too aggressively and you may simply lose the item altogether. It's a gentle dance, not a battle. Smile, negotiate, and everyone walks away happy. Now, my seventh tip is less about money and more about the soul of your trip. Try to explore more. Don't just stay planted in the touristic areas the whole time. Here's what I see every single day: tourists who find one comfortable area, one familiar street, and never leave it. And I understand the temptation. Your street feels great, the surroundings are perfect, everything's convenient. But this is Thailand, especially here in the capital, and there is so much more waiting just beyond your comfort zone. Go take the train, explore, head off in new directions, and enjoy the local neighborhoods. When you do, three wonderful things happen at once. You'll save money on your food and your shopping, and you'll discover new places you'd never have seen otherwise. So don't spend your whole precious holiday sitting on the same familiar corner. Move on, wander, discover. There's a whole country out there beyond your favorite soy. My eighth tip is about how you spend your days, and it might just change the whole rhythm of your trip. Don't waste your day. Try to experience Thailand from the early morning onward. So many travelers pour all their energy into the nightlife or the night markets and then sleep half the day away recovering. But here's the secret that locals know. Life in Thailand begins early. In fact, in many ways, it never really sleeps. So wake up early. Hit the fresh markets when they're buzzing. Visit the exciting temples before the crowds arrive. Watch the locals heading off to work. Sit down somewhere quiet and enjoy a proper local breakfast. That's the real Thailand, and it's happening while most tourists are still sleeping off a hangover or lazily planning their next night out. Don't waste those beautiful early hours. They're some of the best the country has to offer. My ninth tip is a small logistical one that will spare you real misery. Avoid the rush hours when you're getting around, especially in Bangkok. You genuinely won't believe how much time you can lose if you travel at the wrong hour. This is Thailand, and Bangkok in particular. The rush hours here are absolutely hectic. They hit, as you'd expect, when the locals are heading to work in the morning, and again when they're heading home, usually around 5 to 6 in the evening. If you happen to move during those windows, you'll find yourself packed into a BTS train or the MRT so tightly you can barely move, barely breathe. So the fix is simple. Just shift your timing. Move a little earlier or a little later, and you'll glide through in comfort while everyone else is crammed in like sardines. A little planning around the clock makes an enormous difference. And that brings me to my 10th and final tip, and it's a gentle one, a reminder to look after yourself. Check out the green parks. If you want to recharge your batteries and refresh yourself, especially in a big, busy city like Bangkok, know that there are lots of beautiful green parks where you can go and enjoy some peaceful time in nature. And here's the thing that amazes me. So many tourists have no idea that, often just a 5-minute walk from their hotel, there's a gorgeous green park where they could relax, enjoy the nature, and recharge their body after a busy day. Instead, they sit cooped up in their hotel room or crammed around a crowded swimming pool. Be wiser than that. Seek out those green parks. After the noise and the heat and the hustle of the day, a quiet hour under the trees is worth more than you'd think. So there you have it. 10 simple tips to help you avoid the common mistakes and get the very most out of your time in Thailand. Let me pull them together one last time so they stick. It all starts at the airport. Choose the right SIM package, change only a little money there, and pick the transport that fits your group. Don't overpack, travel light and free. Never ask the tuk-tuks or taxis for directions. Use your map or ask a friendly local. Don't fear the street food. It's the best and cheapest food in the country. Don't shop in the tourist areas where an 80 baht shirt costs you 500. Take the train to the real markets. Always bargain, but do it with a smile. Explore beyond your comfortable corner. Wake up early and live the day from the morning. Dodge the rush hour so you're not crushed on the train. And find those green parks to rest and recharge. None of these are complicated, not one of them. But together, they're the difference between a tourist who gets nickel and dimed and exhausted and a traveler who moves through Thailand like they belong here, spending less, seeing more, and soaking up the real country that most visitors walk straight past. So keep these 10 in mind, and I promise your trip will be smoother, cheaper, and far more memorable for it. If you found this helpful, do yourself a favor and hit subscribe, because there's plenty more useful advice like this on the way. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 10 mistakes have you made yourself, or which tip surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one.